Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So we'll jump straight in with this. So we have a Cybercel Avatar The Last Airbender. So what this is are their cell art collectible trading cards. It is not a game, it is just collectible cards. I'll get straight to the images here. It seems like this is a thing that they've been doing for other franchises for a while now. It's basically the same company as like Figpin, if I remember correctly. And so yeah, what it is in each pack are 4 cards. And you can buy booster boxes and stuff like that. The cards are basically going for the animation cell style thing. But of course, they're not actually animation cells because obviously it's just the kind of stock pieces of Avatar art over some sort of a background. So it's interesting to a certain degree, but obviously the problem is that, like, we've seen a lot of this art before. So some of these pictures here go through some of that. So that's what the package art is going to look like. Most of the art I think we've definitely seen before. This Aang here definitely feels a little new to me. We might not have seen it that much or maybe at all. So that's kind of interesting. It has the Avatar Legends logo on it, which is interesting. As we go through some of these other ones here, the common cards, you can see I think we've seen all of this before. Pretty standard stuff, but cool. As you go into the kind of slightly higher rarity stuff, you can see most of this we've seen before. This Azula is a little bit different. And if we go back here just a second, you can see this piece of art down here. This kind of poster of Azula doing her kind of blue kick. And then Zuko doing this attack down here. So that is a piece of art I don't believe we have seen before. So we do get like some senses of some of the new stuff here. You know, then there's some vertical orientated cards, but again, I think we've seen all this art before. The kind of highest rarity stuff, again, a lot of this is standard art that we have seen. There's the art with the avatars, of course, Iroh. There's the kind of really standard group shot. There's the Azula and Zuko image, and this newer, but we have seen it used a few times recently image here. Now there is more than this, I believe, because it goes into like the breakdowns here. Like there's 40 commons, 40 spirit parallels, 18 vertical arts, and 24 new arts, full arts. So it'll be interesting, I think, just maybe when the set list goes up to just keep an eye on what this is. I'm not sure what the availability on this is necessarily like. In that I'd probably grab some packs if I could get them relatively easily without having to jump through hoops and maybe order from somewhere I've never ordered from before. But because I think it looks interesting to a point, but definitely not something I want to go in any way kind of hard in on, because unfortunately the release of this is a little bit weird because it's releasing in like a week or two. Like early October is when it's out. Which is a month, but basically a month before Avatar Magic the Gathering comes out in November. So, not the best time to put out a collectible card thing, especially when Magic has the new art and all that sort of stuff. It's actually a game, whereas this doesn't really have that. But we could get to see maybe some of the newer pieces of stock art that we haven't seen before when the set list, I guess, goes live. So just keep an eye on that. I will mention here immediately, kind of up front, there is this kind of rumored information, these quote-unquote leaks that have come out recently. I've been going back and forth on if I want to cover them or not. I'll link this Night Edge Media article down below, even though I think the YouTube channel Appa Comics is kind of the source of this. I'll link this down below and more or less just leave it with, hey, do you guys want me to actually cover this kind of rumored or leaked information in a separate video? Or are you fine with me just kind of leaving it as, hey, it's out there if you want to find it, and that's that. But yeah, we'll get into the rest of the news because there is other stuff. So Magic Con Atlanta has been happening over the last few days, and this was the Avatar promo card that they had for the event. Apparently it was given out to Magic Con staff members, and I think people who had like VIP tickets or something like that. I'm not sure the full scope of like what the exact availability was, but you can see here it is an alternate art. It's one of these kind of extended border cards for Sokka, Bold Boomeranger, which is a card we've seen already. Here's the standard art for this card. It's going to be a rare in the main set. This is the kind of main Sokka they're sort of highlighting, though of course we know there are multiple Sokka cards in the set. So you can see the difference here is that this has his book 2 outfit, whereas this has his early book 3 outfit, his Fire Nation outfit. So kind of cool to see him there with the boomerang and then Hawkeye on his shoulder. So yeah, you can see it's listed as promo card number 4. It seems to be in the same kind of line or group of cards as the Katara card, which was one of the first Avatar cards that we saw, which again was an alternate art of one of the rare Kataras from the set. So I assume there's a few more of these. Maybe there might be one at New York Comic Con and, you know, onwards, but just cool to see it. It's now kind of 2 for 2 on these kind of convention promo cards where it is the characters in their Fire Nation outfits. So that's a little bit of an interesting thing to note. Piece of news I maybe missed out on from before is just that we do know the directors for Netflix Avatar Season 3. I've not been overly focusing too much in on the production stuff on Netflix Avatar, because I think for me it's very much just in that category of, now that we've seen Season 1, we know what the sort of quality level of the show is at. I'll cover the big pieces of news when they happen, but I feel like I don't need to go in depth on like every single detail that comes out about this thing. So, yeah, we have Jabbar Raisani, who apparently is going to be directing the first 2 episodes. Rachel Goldberg is going to be directing episodes 3 and 4. Karen Gaviola is going to be doing 5 and 6. And it's unknown who's going to be doing the 2-episode, I guess, series finale here. Now, I suppose this is one where, like, maybe I missed where they directly confirmed that, like, oh, we're just doing 8 episodes for season 2 and 8 episodes for season 3. So there's no difference in episode count whatsoever. So that's a little bit disappointing to see, in that makes me definitely a little bit worried, I think, about season 2 and 3, that, like, can they actually execute those giant arcs in only a handful of episodes. Maybe they might make the episodes a little bit longer, but that only helps so much when I think they just need more episodes. Again, I'm just waiting to see what's happening with kind of season 2 now at this point, in terms of, like, I'm guessing, like, at some point right before the end of the year, maybe very early next year, they're going to need to put out some details properly about Netflix Avatar Season 2 in terms of when it's actually dropping. Because they're going to want to position that in a way where it's not really messing up in any way the build in to the Aang movie. Like, it can't be like too close to that, but they maybe want to have it be a part of the kind of pathway to that. So it kind of feels like they maybe would want to have this release in like early-ish 2026, well, without going like too late, and maybe like May, June, maybe July, but that even feels like a little bit late to be doing it. We'll see what kind of happens, of course. So that's the situation. And then, yeah, they're filming a lot of season 3 stuff in Iceland, which I'm guessing is what they're using for like a lot of Fire Nation scenes, is my guess. So that's just the main thing to say there. I don't think I've mentioned Netflix Avatar in quite a while, but also they've not really put out any official news about Netflix Avatar in quite a while either. Next, let's just go through a little bit of a publishing recap, because we've just gone through a couple of releases where, of course, you know, Beast of the Four Nations is now out, and we had kind of you know, the box set for the Fire and Family Treasury. So next week, so next Tuesday, and actually just in 2 days, the official baking book, so this is like the second cookbook, is coming out from Insight Editions. So just be aware of that. The week afterwards, on the 7th of October, we're getting the Kyoshi Novels Ultimate Collector's Edition, which again is this what looks to be pretty disappointing collected edition of the 2 Kyoshi novels, where there doesn't really seem to be anything particularly new about this. They're just going for a little bit of fancy presentation, and that's it. As someone who does collect a lot of editions of books, this holds no interest to me whatsoever, and I am hugely disappointed in this. Maybe if someone does get it and they reveal that actually it does have some of the extras from the other books in it, it might be something worth getting. But that has not been in the marketing at all, and so we're going to have to wait and see if there is anything else of substance there. After that, the Legacy of Yang Chen paperback is going to be coming out on the 28th of October, which also is the same day as the debut stream for the Avatar Magic the Gathering set. So that is something that we are, of course, going to be looking forward to, is finally spoiler season for the Avatar Magic set starting. Now, we might get a little bit of information at New York Comic Con, of course, which is coming up in just under 2 weeks. That's the next sort of like big thing that we're waiting for, is that obviously 2 weeks from today is the Sunday panel at New York Comic Con. That's the anniversary panel, the one that Brian is on, the one that is the equivalent of the panel at SDCC where we got the Seven Havens information. So we would be expecting news from that, and in 2 weeks we should know what the situation is. Hopefully it's good and we'll know what exactly is happening. But otherwise, in terms of publishing, the next big thing we're actually looking forward to is also the Team Avatar Treasury Omnibus Edition, which is the first time the one-shots are getting an Omnibus Edition, which is interesting. But yeah, it's 18th of November for the next proper release, and that is Avatar Legends Bending Academy Fire #1 Lighted Up. Again, set in the Avatar Zito era, featuring completely kind of new characters. And this is a very, very interesting idea that for the more kids-focused book, they're going to a completely unknown era. Fascinated to see how this goes, but it actually is quite an exciting release, and I'm eager to get some information on this as we build up to the release. Otherwise, the things we're building up to at the end of the year are the official Avatar sticker book, which, you know, again, will just be a collection of stock imagery as stickers. Might actually be one of the more detailed lineups, depending on how exactly it goes. But then, of course, 30th of December, Awakening of Roku is released. So it's not a placeholder date, it is the actual release date for the book. We are still waiting for kind of the full description to go up for this book. As you can sort of see here, it's still going off the kind of placeholder description. It doesn't even have the basic description that they mentioned at San Diego Comic-Con, but the description at San Diego Comic-Con was too short to be the main description of the book. So I'm assuming at New York they'll probably update the listings to have that proper one. But because we're getting close-ish to this date, of course, like, we're still not going to get preview pages until probably like the end of November. They might do it slightly earlier than that, but you know, we're still quite a while away from this. So that's that. And then we're into the 2026 releases. But again, we don't really have too much of them fleshed out, and we are hoping that the New York Comic Con publishing panel, the one that's not really being marketed as much, that should be the panel that actually delivers probably the most amount of news. Even though if they do have a 20th anniversary piece of information, maybe about the Aang movie, that'll probably be the biggest news. But the most amount of news will probably come from the publishing panel, because Dark Horse need to give details and dates for a lot of their upcoming stuff, because they don't really have anything on the schedule that much kind of into the future. So we need to kind of sort of fix that as we go forward. Like you can see, there's no Dark Horse stuff here. Dark Horse stuff only goes all the way up to, yeah, this November release, but it is the last reprint, basically, of Team Avatar Treasury. So, that is the video. Again, let me know if you would like me to cover the details that kind of came out from these rumors and leaks about the Aang movie. But otherwise, let me know what your thoughts are on Cybercel, Avatar. Do you have any familiarity with this kind of series of cards? Any thoughts on the Sokka card here, alternate art, and just Netflix Avatar, kind of where are you at with it, given that we haven't really talked about it in quite a while. But otherwise, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.